What's up, guys? What's going on? Welcome to another looking back video in which we talk about a game that I played at least 5 hours of, either on stream or on my own, and then I give my opinions to you in the form of a list of pros and cons, my general thoughts about the game, and then I give you my personal opinion if this is a buy or no buy. So today we're going to be talking about a game called Magic Scroll Tactics. Came out on the Switch basically this month, and it's honestly, like, if you guys my too long didn't read, it's a really good game. It's a honestly really good game. I didn't think much of the game when I first saw the previews. I thought, you know what, I'm gonna take a look at it because I want to look at every RPG or JRPG that comes out, but I was pleasantly surprised. It's a very, very solid game. Now, I usually do like a quick like review, like I read like the description for the game. So Magic Scroll Tactics. In this case, let me just go into the. I forgot to prepare this in advance. I suck. But Magic Scroll Tactics. On the Nintendo Switch, well, the Nintendo eShop, I believe it only came out for that platform anyway. I don't think this is a game that came out for other platforms. So here we go. So Magic Scroll Tactic is a side-scrolling tactical RPG where height is key. But be warned, simply holding the high ground won't ensure victory. Raining arrows down on your hapless foe is only one part of the simple yet deep strategy game. You'll need to master a wide variety of abilities and units if you wish to conquer your perilous foes. And who are these foes, you ask? Why, ancient wizards, greedy pirates, and more, as the summoner Nash team up with a young priestess to vanquish the diabolical forces of darkness. Only under your expert guidance will these two brave heroes be victorious. Now, what they say there is super, super important. You might not look that way when you look at gameplay screenshots, or even like when you look at the the preview behind you, but behind me. But it's when they say that height is key, it's the truth. The game is really special in the sense that, like, whenever you are on high ground compared to another unit, you will have way more chances to hit, like crazy more chances to hit. And the opposite is true as well. If you are on the ground trying to hit a target that is way above you, your chances to hit will drop down significantly, to the point where, like, you might go from like 100% if you're like on the same plane to like a 25% chance to hit if you're a slightly lower plane than the character you're trying to hit. So you really need to always pay attention to what you're doing, where enemies are positioned, and all that good stuff. Like a Final Fantasy Tactic, you have different classes and jobs that you have in your team. They all perform, distinctively from each other. You can equip gear onto your characters. Every character has like 4 different slots of items you can equip. That means weapons. I think it's 4 or 5. Actually, I think it's 5 even. I think they have 2 accessory slot, 1 armor slot, 1 head slot, and 2 weapons. 6 slots, 2 weapons. So when I say 2 weapons, it's because you can have like a character that can dual wield, but you also have a character that has like 1 weapon and then 1 shield, and so on and so forth. It's actually pretty freaking addictive. The gameplay is really addictive. You fall in love with the way the character move, the quirky animations and all that good stuff really rapidly, and then you don't see the time go by. Like, I could play this game and I would totally just forget that I've been playing for like 3 hours straight. So in that sense, it's really a good title, good tactical RPG. It's a weird take. Usually, you're so used to having a tactical RPG that is in a 3D plane where you can move your character up, down buildings, and in a 3-dimensional space. Now this one is in a 2-dimensional space, and that changes the game drastically. Like I said, height is super important, but also the positioning of your characters. Which character is in front is going to be hit first, except if it's like a range attack, then maybe not. Most attacks will deal like you do like a column of fire, while it's going to hit the one character in front of you, well, wherever you're hitting it, but also like a whole array of characters, in a vertical plane, and it's really interesting and really cool system. Now, I'm gonna go into the list of pros and cons. I already talked a little bit about it, but here we go. So like I said, really addicting gameplay loop, definitely a pro. It's you will lose yourself. You will lose time just playing the game and just just like, oh, you know what, one more mission, come on, like I'm almost there, or like my character is almost about to learn a skill, like I want to keep going. The characters are fun. They're really distinctive. Each race of monsters you can have has its own pros and cons. For example, like the like angel-like character over there that has like wings can obviously float above everybody else, and has like a bigger range of movement, at least vertically, but it's really fragile to like range attacks. Another, like the frog, for example, moves like in water at the same speed as you would move on ground or something, and then like another of the characters can move faster on snow than they would normally, and then depending on what mission you're on, you will have different seasons and stuff, like different terrains that you'll have to deal with. So as you can see right now, like every mission on the map is literally a new spot on the map that you have to go to. Unfortunately, they're not really different in the sense that like in Final Fantasy Tactics, you'll see like you have like one dot is like a location that you can go to, but they have different names, they have different terrains and stuff. This one is literally, you are in a forest. Well, you'll have like maybe 10 missions in the forest plus side missions that are just you killing monsters in very simplistic form. Like you spawn, the map is tiny, you have 3 monsters to kill, and then the map is over. Sometimes chests will spawn, and you'll have to go and pick them up if you want to grab the loot in them. What I do enjoy is if you're next to a square that has a chest, you will pick it up automatically. So if you have like if you kill an enemy and he drops a chest, and you kill another enemy, he drops a chest, and there's a space in the middle, if you move a character there and you end your turn there, he's going to loot both chests at the same time right away. You won't have to wait. The big red chests are chests that were already there in the map when you start a mission, and unfortunately, if you win the mission and you didn't pick up the chest, you're not getting the content. So you really, that kind of sucks though, because sometimes like my mission is over, there's only one enemy left, and I'm on purpose not trying to kill it, just trying to run around and get to the chest just so that I can loot what's in it before I hit the last hit that I need to hit on that enemy to actually kill him. So yeah, it's kind of a weird situation sometimes, but overall it's pretty cool. Now there are tons of customization options. Essentially, what you saw at the beginning of the video there was that there's like it's a pro and a con. So the con is there's very few classes. There's actually 4 different classes. That's it. That is all you're getting. 4. So in that sense, it would be like, that's kind of lame. Like most games will offer, like at the very least, like tons of jobs and stuff. If you look at like an ogre battle or like a Final Fantasy Tactic, there's so many jobs, and sometimes a job can turn into another job, and so on and so forth. However, what the game does is it gives you like multiple talent trees that you can go down and level up and decide which skill is equipped and all that stuff. Literally, you can do whatever you want, as long as it, like obviously a fighter won't be able to cast a fire spell or something, but like a fighter will have so many different options, a different arrays of path to go through as you level him up, that you could literally have 2 different fighters that are doing 2 different things altogether. They're still technically a fighter, but the path that they went down as they were leveling up is vastly different. And so that's the way you essentially create your character. Now, when you start a fight, you essentially have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have 7 characters with you. Essentially, you have 6 monsters that you summon, and then you have your main character. Sometimes you'll have like another NPC in fights with you and stuff, depending on the story. And so that brings your roster to 8. It doesn't remove a monster, but overall, it's essentially like 6 or 7 characters is what you're gonna get top. And it's kind of unfortunate at the same time. Like it's a con definitely for me, that the monster you're creating don't have voices, that they're not characters, they don't have like a storyline, they don't have anything really. So what you get is you just like summon the type of monster you want with the type of class that you want, and then it's basically it. That is your character, and it's just gonna every fight, every interaction, every mission and stuff. When you start the mission, it's always your main character talking to other NPCs, and then as the fight starts, your main character, which is a summoner, will summon his whole army of monsters, and then they'll fight with you, and that's it. So there's nothing like super duper interesting there. It's really quite unfortunate. That's a thing that I really did enjoy with, you know, it's the same with like tactics, for example. Final Fantasy Tactics or Ogre Battle, you will recruit people and they won't necessarily have a voice, right? You'll just be like your soldier, your nameless soldier that they have given a name, but I mean like you're not that attached to them and stuff. But at least you'll have more NPCs that you interact with, and more NPCs sometimes that will be in your party, and sometimes very rarely, like some of them will have a voice or something to say, and this one is really literally just you and whoever else you're interacting with on the other side, like in the other team. Or maybe you'll have, like I said, like one guy at one point for a couple mission that will be with you very temporarily, and the rest of the time you're on your own. That could be a plus if you really just enjoy creating your own team, because you're very free to do so and create it the way you want it. And the game doesn't like, it's not like, you know, like, oh, you start the game, you can only get you can only like get an adventurer, and the game decides like randomly what you're gonna get. You're gonna get an archer, like a whatever. Like this game is really like you pick the race you want of monster, then the class you want, and then you get it. That's it. There's nothing. Like it's as simple as that. You will frequently run out of money. That happens to me a lot. Thankfully, you can go back into the regular missions and play them more often. However, most of the money you're getting is coming from monster defeated that drop a chest, or literally as a bonus for completing a mission for the first time. If you redo a mission a second time, you're not going to get those, except if you're super lucky and a monster will drop a chest and give you money. So you're either going to be stuck like grinding forever in like the side missions, or you're just as well, you might as well just keep going, like just keep leveling up. Essentially, there are very difficult spikes, like difficulty spikes. Like I would hit a wall sometimes, like literally, like I would be fine for a couple of missions and then would hit a wall. So what I would do is, obviously my characters need more gear, right? So I need more money, but I can't progress anymore because I've hit a wall. What I would do then is I would just like go back into the earlier missions that are repeatable, and I wouldn't get money, so I couldn't technically buy new gear. However, my characters would still level up. They would still learn points and learn abilities and unlock new stuff. So when I would go into that fight again, if I can cast a more powerful spell to hit an enemy and stuff, well, that would allow me to complete that mission, get the money reward at the end, and then be able to buy more gear for my characters. So yeah, so it's really cool. It's a really cool game. I honestly wasn't expecting it. It came out of left field. I didn't think I would like it that much. Really addicting. And to me personally, it felt like it was a really refreshing take on the tactics gameplay loop that you usually get, especially because of the what you can see right now, which is the talent tree. So this seems like simple, right? It seems like there's only a few branching paths there, but that's just one talent tree. Eventually it ends, and if you scroll to the right, you'll have another talent tree, and then it spreads out again, and then if you scroll again, you'll have another one. So yeah, that's another one that starts there, and then so on and so forth. So there's a lot of different things you can do with different characters and stuff, and it's really cool. Now for a few cons, I did mention a few earlier too, but like I said, there's only one main character and that's it. You don't really have other characters you can get attached to and you can play with. There's also an issue where you won't be able to like get a super deep story, right? Because you can only have one character in your team that actually talks. So the story is very simple, very classic. There's nothing like super duper interesting. So if a story is the only thing that keeps you going in games, you might be disappointed, because the story, whilst it does the job, it's nothing like super cool. There's no like super deep political stuff like in an Ogre Battle, like I said before, or Final Fantasy Tactics, or even a Fire Emblem or whatever. Like or even Wargroove. Hell, Wargroove had a more deep story than this. Like it's really, really, really simple story, but it's kind of nice. The soundtrack is really forgettable. Like it just does the job. Like there's no one track that I can turn back to and be like, oh my god, this was so good. Whereas I sometimes will listen to Final Fantasy Tactics soundtrack because it was so good. I did mention earlier there was a lack of different jobs. There's only 4 jobs. So that's a bit of a bummer. There's essentially like a warrior, a fighter, which are different, and then you have like a cleric, and then you have a mage or something. So it's really, really unfortunate that that happens. And yeah, like I wish the game had more like systems and mechanics in place and stuff, and I wish the game would explain more stuff to me as well. There's no tutorial really. The game doesn't tell you anything. It just drops you into the game and it's just like, figure it out. So so that's cool because the game doesn't take you by the hand and just like introduce you to all those mechanics one after the other. But on the other end, it's sometimes I was like, how does this work? Like, what is this? And it was super, like, it took like a lot of trial and error to figure out like the systems and how everything like meshes together and stuff. So that's another like slight con. So yeah, so overall I would say the game really freaking fantastic, really good game, and super cheap. The game is really, really cheap. Like on the Nintendo shop, like in the eShop, in Canadian dollars, it's $12. So in American, it's probably like $9.99. It's freaking cheap. It's really, really cheap, and you'll get many, many hours of gameplay. I'm only like in chapter 2, not even at the midway point of chapter 2, and I played like 5 hours. So there's a lot of stuff you can do in this game, and it's a cool game to just like jump in, do a couple missions, jump out, and yeah, should you buy it? Definitely, yes, definitely. If you're a fan of tactic games, buy it. If you are a fan of RPG and a little bit curious, still buy it. Very cheap. It's worth, it's worth the price. But if you're looking for like the next Final Fantasy Tactics or something in that vein, this isn't it. Like this is not like deep enough to be considered one of those classic titles. This will not go down into history as being like the end all be all of tactic games. Like it's a nice side adventure, nice side thing. If you're looking for something to play and you don't have like $20 to spend or even $25 to spend for $9, $10, like 12 in Canadian, like please buy it. It's really good. Like you won't regret it. So yeah, that was my thoughts on Magic Scroll Tactics. Thank you so much guys for watching as always, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.